Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Tuesday Talk. Hope you guys are having a really good week. Let's get started. Okay, the first huge event that I want to talk about is the Bill Cosby scandal. OMG. Now, I must say that in the beginning, I didn't really believe it because it's just hard to believe that he would do something like that. But as you guys all know, if you're not aware, it has been proven he has admitted to drugging women to take advantage of them sexually. And I mean, after the shock wore off, after a few seconds, literally seconds, after the shock wore off, I was just like, okay, so what else is new? And the reason why I'm saying it, I'm not making light of the situation. As you can see, that's Charlie. Charlie, say hey. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Charlie's going to be joining us for the Tuesday Talk. After the shock wore off, I was just like, so what else is new, And he's not the first. He's not the first. Those Hollywood types, I'm telling you, it goes, if you really understood the secret society of celebrities and the things that they do have done, it's just ridiculous. It's really, 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 really ridiculous, And, I mean, it's just some things that they do, because you see people, you meet people out, especially a lot of young ladies who want to get into the business, and they're looking for mentors, they're looking for somebody to help them along, and I hate when people take advantage of people who really want to try to get into the business. They take advantage of that, And I think that if you're the kind of person that has integrity, you won't sell your soul to the devil to get a role or sell yourself short to become famous in any way, shape, or form. Because if it's meant for you to be at a certain level, you'll be there. Oh my glory. Any other time, he don't want nothing to do with nobody. He just has the biggest attitude. Yes, you. And then when at the worst times, he's like, Mommy, I want you to rub me and love me and all that. No. But you got the same attitude before. If you try to rub him and he's not in the mood, he'll move out of the way don't touch me. Now all of a sudden you all been my grill. Don't work that way. Yeah. So I mean, it sucks, because I looked up to him for so many years, as a positive figure in education, pushing young people to educate themselves, and I'm not going to take that part away from him because he is a great role model as far as pushing kids to go to college. Even the TV kids that he's worked with, he's always let them know that this entertainment business is like a fickle business. You need to have something to fall back on. And I think a couple of the Cosby kids did end up going to the university and getting their degree. I think only one that I know of, that's Keisha Knight Pulliam. She graduated from Spelman. And so even though she's an actress today, she still did go to college and graduate. And, it's because of, great mentorship from, Dr. Bill Cosby. But, I've always learned when you listen to different stories of different people, I've come to the realization that a lot of brilliant people have a lot of demons, a lot of demons they struggle with, and I'm not condoning what he did. What he did was absolutely wrong, and it was inexcusable, and he needs to pay for what he did, in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure what they could do to him at this point, him being such an old man. And, these incidences that have happened have been years and years and years ago, but he needs to be held accountable, in the court of law for his behavior, because it's no different strokes for different folks. It's if you break the law or do something, bad, you need to, you need to face the consequences for what you did. And so, my heart goes out to the victims, and I hope they find, peace and they get their justice that they're looking for. But I'm not going to be in this state of, oh my gosh, like, it's constant with these celebrities, if it's not drugs, if it's not, going in and out of rehab, it's some other kind of crazy nonsense that they get caught up in. And it's just like, I always tell people that celebrity is not for everybody. Celebrity is really not for everybody, because a lot of people, and then again, Tyler Perry always says that if you're an a-hole while you're broke, while you're regular, then you'll be an a-hole with money. And so in some instances, money does change people. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't see how celebrity is positive for a lot of people. It's really not positive. And so it's really sad. It's really, really sad, because this whole situation has completely tarnished his reputation forever. And, I'm sure that years and years and years down the line, people will be on another story like they were with R. Kelly when he got accused of, statutory rape, and, people don't remember what he's done and all that other stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just crazy, but it's a sad situation. It's a sad situation. And I really think that he got exposed because he just refused to pay. He refused to pay. And so, this, apparently he's been paying, settling with these things for so long. And it's like, I don't know. I don't really know what to say. It's just disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. But then again, we as people need to stop holding these folks on this high pedestal like they cannot do any wrong. They're still human beings. They still screw up. They still do bad things. And so we just have to understand that and not idolize people at all. Once the idolization just quits, then a lot of these incidences that become public, won't freak us out, because you're like, okay, yeah, like, that sucks, but, alright, enough of Bill Cosby. Next on my list, TLC cancels 19 Kids and Counting. I love that show. I love that show. I don't care. It's so much garbage on TV. So what if they're super religious? So what if they have a bunch of kids? So what if they live their life very simply? So what? Like, compared to Honey Boo Boo, the Kardashians, and all these other nonsense, like, they don't argue, they don't fuss and fight, and I'm just like, I just hate the fact that they cancel that show, but I understand because of the overwhelming bad press. And of course, people are pressuring them to cancel it and all that. And, TLC, even though it's a network, it is a business. It's a business first. And anything that is going to come in between them making money, they have to end it. And I get it. I completely get it. I don't think that the family should have been punished for what Scott did, because, not Scott, you see what I'm saying? Get the families mixed up. Josh. Nobody should, be penalized for what Josh did. Well, first of all, he did it when he was a child. He was a teenager. He was 14, 15 years old. And no, they may not have handled it perfectly, but seriously, I mean, I always tell people, because I had this, and I don't even know why I argue with this person, but I don't want to be mean, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I should not have argued with a person on this fact. I mean, I honestly feel like before people start judging the situation, then you need to put yourself in that situation. We all have kids. If our child was accused of something like that, or you found out that your child that you have raised the right way, you know, they're not bad parents, they're great parents. They raise their kids. You can raise your kids however perfect you want to raise them, and they have the freedom of choice to make good decisions and wise decisions. How would you handle if your child did that? Like, literally, would you put a post on Facebook about it? Like, let's be for real, for real. Like, cause even on Babysitter, y'all know I'm on Babysitter, and I was just so enraged, like, of how really nasty people were. Like, they were like, oh, we just knew they weren't perfect, and I was waiting on something bad to happen. Like, they're freaks, and they're this, and they're that. And I'm just like, that is so stupid, and it's unfair, because we all have family. I have a family secret. We have family secrets that I don't go broadcasting. You know, we have bad things that happen, or things in that realm, you know, of molestation and stuff like that. Stuff like that has happened in my family. I haven't gone around telling the whole entire world about stuff that happened in my family, because it's none of their business. And at that time, they just handled it. I don't know what people wanted them to do. Go to People magazine and just expose it. Because it's like, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. You know, no matter how they handle it, people will still blame them. You know, because the reason why he did it, because he was sexually repressed. What the hell does that have to do with anything? He's supposed to be, he's 14, he's not supposed to be having no sex. He's not supposed to be doing anything sexual at 14. It's a sin, it's not right, no. That has nothing to do with it. He was curious. Instead of going to his father about his curiosity and talking to his dad about it, he decided to do something. He decided to violate his sisters and family friends. That's not okay. You know, if I was his mother, I would not hesitate to remove him out of the home indefinitely. He would not, like, I would love all my kids unconditionally, but when you're dealing with a situation where someone is being violated, you know, they need intense help, and he or she would have to go to a facility until they're 18 and then transition on to college, but they would not be allowed to reside in my home ever again, because I'm not going to alter my house, turn my house into no jail, because you can't keep your hands to yourself. You understand? You can't or won't keep your hands to yourself. Now, you can get the help that you need. I will make sure that you get all the help that you need, but you will not be able to reside. You would have to go to another family member's home. You could stay with a family member, you could stay with a grandparent, or what, and that would be very clear. You know, he needs, at nighttime, you know, lock the door. Lock your doors, your bedroom doors. You know what I'm saying? Because you just don't know. He's not to be trusted. You know, but I just think it's sad that the show, you know, was canceled, and I hope that they bring it back. But in the meantime, I can enjoy the Bates family. I don't know if y'all familiar with the Bates. Bates are exactly like the Duggars. They have 19 kids too. And I was so glad when their show came back, because I was just like, I just love wholesome shows that show, you know, people that are raising their kids, living their life, no bunch of drama. I mean, you have drama here and there, but it doesn't like just completely disrupt your life. You get into it here and there with, you know, the kids or your spouse or whatever, and you just move on. It's not a big deal, but for the most part, you live a very positive life. Because my husband is like, why do you always watch reality shows? And I'm guilty. I do watch all the ratchetness because it's entertaining. It's entertaining. It's entertaining. I don't have that kind of drama in my life, so it's good to see people acting fool on TV, because I don't act the fool at all. I don't have none of that stuff. It's just me and Violet during the day, you know, and then on the weekends we'll hang out with family and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't have no drama in my life. I don't surround myself with a bunch of friends. My best friend lives in a different city. you know, and we speak every now and then, and, you know, all that, but for the most part, I don't surround myself with a bunch of, like, women and, you know, friends. I would love to have friends, but, you know, I don't, you know, people are funny. Like, I'm so cautious of people. I don't know how to start talking about, you know, I go on a tangent, y'all. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about is the issue at the Carolina State House with the KKK and the new Black Panther Party. Utterly ridiculous. Just completely just ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Apparently, the KKK was upset with the decision that was made to remove the Confederate flag. And they decided to go and have a protest about it. And of course, they did it on the same exact day that the New Panther Party was doing some kind of a non-violent rally. And of course, when you get two groups that are completely opposite in their thinking and ways, you're going to have conflict. Now, me personally, I honestly think that the government really needs to work. They're so busy worried about ISIS and all these other folks, which is, you know, a valid issue that they need to tackle. But we have domestic terrorists that live right smack dab right here in the U.S. of A. And what am I talking about? I am talking about the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. They are domestic terrorists. They're domestic terrorists. Like, they have a completely horrific history of violence against minorities and just horrid torture. And the government needs to shut them down. They should have been shut down years and years and years ago. When you have people in government that are part of the group, then of course it's not going to get, you know, shut down. And it's just like ridiculous. It's ridiculous how these people are still allowed to operate. You know, they're a hate group. You know, you live in the United States. The United States is made up of a lot of people. If you don't like it, get out. Go somewhere else. Build up your own nation of whoever you want to be in it, and y'all just live happy ever after, because the United States is going to be a melting pot of different people. You got to get over that. You can't separate yourself from the United States, because you go to the grocery store, you're going to be surrounded by different folks. Anywhere you go, you're going to be surrounded by different folks. Now, what I think should have happened with the new Black Panther Party, just to completely eradicate themselves from anything associated with those folks, is that as soon as they saw the Ku Klux Klan coming, they should have just disbanded and went about their business instead of staying and fighting with them folks. You know what I'm saying? Because when people have that deep-seated kind of hatred, there's really nothing that you can do to change their mind, and it's pointless to fight them. It's pointless, because all it's going to do is just cause a bunch of problems. You're going to get arrested, you go to jail, get a record for what? You know? What? So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's really, 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 really crazy how this situation that was supposed to be like a rally turned into this big hoopla, because you got people running around, you know, acting like fools on both sides, you know. So, I mean, I really, really pray that, you know, one day we can live in a society where there isn't that hatred. People, even if you don't necessarily like a certain type of people, keep it to yourself. You know, keep it to yourself, because we don't have a choice in how we were born. You know, we don't have a choice. And so, I just hope one day we can all live together in harmony. I mean, that's very pageantry questiony, but I don't care. You know, I really do think that we should try to live together, because, you know, it is what it is. It's just sad, you know, and I'm scared for my kids, you know. I say kids, because, you know, I'm going to have a lot of kids, but I'm just scared for my future children to have to grow up and have to deal with people that dislike them because of what God chose for them to be. Like, we didn't have no choice to pick no color, pick no ethnicity. We just had to, we came out how we came out. And so, yeah, you know, it's just craziness. But anyway, that's it for Tuesday Talk. I'm going to give you guys a brief update on TT Sting. We had to postpone the HSG test because the fools almost doubled the price of it without telling me. When I called to schedule it, I asked the woman, how much it was, and she told me, and it was $220 when I took it back in 2013, I believe. 2013, I believe. And when I got to the place, the lady was like, $500, please. And I was just like, what? She's like, yeah, they raised the price a few months ago. And I was just like, why did she tell me that? Because we budgeted for a certain amount of money. Like, listen, we live on a budget. I know that's weird and that's strange for most people to even think about, but we live our life on a budget. My husband has a great job now, and we don't just overdo it because, being broke is not fun at all, especially when you have a child. And so we budgeted for a certain amount of money, and it didn't turn out that way. And so now I was pissed off, but I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever, And so we decided to postpone it until next month. And then my mom was saying that maybe that's just God's way of giving you an opportunity to conceive on your own. Because she's very, very optimistic, and she thinks there's nothing wrong with me, and she really doesn't understand why I'm doing all this. And that's why, certain people you just don't share because they don't believe it. They live in denial, and I can't live in the land of denial. I live in the land of reality. And so I'm not going to sit here at 33 years of age and wait 2 more years thinking that I can conceive on my own when I know I have issues with it. And, I need to just go ahead and get the help that I need. And so, yeah. And then my husband was just like, well, maybe let's try and see. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll try and see if I can go ahead and we can get pregnant on our own. So we've been TTCing, on our own, and we're hoping that we can see this cycle. And so if we don't conceive, then we'll go ahead and we'll reschedule our HSG because the referral is good for an entire year. Thank God. Because I did not want to go back to that OB. I hate my fertility OB. It's so extra. And they nickel and dime me for everything. And every time I go there, I spend more money than I want to. And so, because you'll be there for just a simple office visit, which is like, a certain price that they have. And then they'll be like, oh, we need to take blood. Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to do that. And after they finish, you're spending like over $200. And it's just stupid. They trick you and stuff. And so, they don't tell you anything over the phone. They wait till you get there and want to charge you all kind of crap. But, don't worry, everybody. We're going to try on our own and see what happens. Just pray for us and hope that we can conceive on our own and we can use that $500 to put a down payment on my minivan, or to put in the box for the minivan money, because we got that going too before we do the big move. We're going to get another vehicle. And so, yeah, Viola's crying. So she was watching her little television show, drinking her bottle. So, I thought I was just running here and do this real quick. So I'm going to go in there and tend to her. So if you have any questions or you want to discuss what we talked about in Tuesday Talk, leave it down below. Okay? Bye. See you guys next week.